Soul Simmers, my name is Darth Jaswick and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a bubble tea and thrift shop in Tomarang. Now right now I just have this on like a random lot in Tomarang, but I end up moving it to the lot where the Screaming Gecko is because I wanted it to take up the entire lot and be like a little city block almost. So when I do the tour at the end of the build, we'll be in a completely different spot. Right now I'm just placing a couple of vending machines because I thought it would be nice to have them. Your Sims can buy snacks from there, and then there's also a potential death from the vending machines, so I thought that would be fun. Right now I'm just placing a few of these racks from high school years that have clothes on them, and a few of clutter tables that have like some random objects that look like they could be at a thrift store, like some purses, there's like books and stuff like that, jewelry. This little sign from For Rent is really adorable. It has a few like food and tea swatches on it, so I chose one and just kind of like set it out there for now. I might end up changing it later on during the build. I don't really remember. I thought about using this like bar back under the stairs, but I wasn't sure if it would cause your Sims to not be able to get upstairs, and I didn't want that, so I just ended up like moving it to a different spot. I'm also pulling out a few of these market tables, but because I moved it to a smaller lot in the end, we don't actually have those, so just ignore that. I added a little mini fridge from the For Rent pack behind the boba counter just for the realism of it all. I mean, in real life, you're gonna have fridges in a place like this because you need to keep your ingredients cool. And I'm also gonna create like a small little prep area for your Sims behind the counter, and then like kind of make a little half wall and put a little gate so that only the worker can get behind there. Like, it doesn't really stop any Sims from doing anything, but you know, I'd like to pretend that. So in this prep area, I'm just going to add a sink and then a few decorations like this little dish rack, a few takeout containers. In real life, you could actually put food in it and take it to your job or wherever. You can't do that in The Sims, but it would be cool if you could. And then also a little paper towel rack and some teas. Back in the thrift area, I'm just placing down a few of these jewelry box items from the Crystal Creations stuff pack, and then one of these like big racks from Dine Out. It ended up being like a little bit too big in here, so I just added some clutter from the Home Chef Hustle kit. I ended up removing it because it was too big, and then we'll do something else with that area like later on in the video. For the bathroom, I added a stall from high school years and like a basic sink, as well as like a little utility room that kind of juts off of it. That has our water heater and the electrical box. And while I was trying to pick a few tables to sit in here, these windows were just really bothering me. I don't know why, but they just looked a little too modern for what I was trying to build here. I think in a place like this, they would have like more screen windows because there's going to be like a lot of people and it's going to be hot, so they're going to want a lot more airflow in here. But as for dining tables go, I ended up choosing this one from the Horse Ranch pack because I really like how it looks like it's handmade, and then a few other smaller round tables just from the base game. I just didn't like the way that the square tables looked in here. Like, there's a few tables that came with the Tomarang pack that would have gone nicely in here, especially with like the wood tones, but I really like these round tables. And I'm going to pair them with these chairs from the For Rent pack, and then I'm going to line everything up so that your Sims can actually still walk around here. They will probably end up like gathering right around the boba station, so I want to make sure that there's enough space for a lot of Sims to get through there. I gave them a broom from the Nifty Knitting Kit, I want to say, and then this billboard from the Snowy Escape pack actually fits really well in here. And I'm just going to pretend that this is like a schedule for all of our workers and maybe a few recipes or notes pinned on the board. I'm also hanging up a few of these aprons just because I think they wear black aprons when they're working here. If not, I think it might be like a green color. I can't really remember. The rent pack has a few wall decorations that I wanted to use, like this little like sign for the tea shop or the thrift shop, and then a little like wall vent. We're also adding this little elephant behind our thrift counter. There's this really detailed wall carving that I put up on the wall in the tea shop, and then these like wicker whims basket. They just kind of hang up on the wall, and they look pretty, so I thought I'd add them in. And then a few bird cages. They actually have a bird cage from the For Rent pack. I think it's cool. They didn't actually put a bird in it, but I think it would be cool if it had like a little animated bird in it. I'm just adding a bunch of like For Rent decorations and other random clutter items that I could find. And then we had this mirror from the For Rent pack too. You can actually set stuff on it, but I had to alt place these little jewelry boxes on it just because I wanted them to be behind the counter. We're going to move up to the second story now. I'm adding a few of these benches on the patio outside because I wanted there to be a place for your Sims to sit out there and just like enjoy the weather. I wanted there to be a small little dressing room for your Sims to try on clothes, so I'm going to make that over here in this little corner. I decided to go with an archway and then just hang a curtain over it. I feel like that's a little bit more realistic. Maybe not because it's in such a public place, but you know, who cares? It's The Sims. They don't really have a privacy thing unless they're on the toilet. In the dressing room, all I added was a mirror from the City Living pack. And I really wasn't sure where I wanted to put this big bar back thing from the For Rent pack, so I ended up just throwing it up on the 3rd floor for now. And then I added the photo booth from high school years. I don't really use this object that often because it's very large and I don't really have a place to put it, so I ended up putting that up there on the 3rd floor. But I'm going to make a little seating area for your Sims on the 2nd floor so they can read books. And then I'm also going to add a few of the new Crystal Creations Stuff Pack bookshelves because I love them. They have like a little ladder on one of them and I am obsessed. I got really distracted with this build, so nothing is consistent when I was recording. Right now I'm just adding a few benches to the 3rd floor balcony. So we're kind of back to the 2nd floor now. Eventually we'll go up to the 3rd floor so that we can do some of that stuff. I wanted to create like a little platform area so that your Sims can have like some music, like a piano and a guitar, because boba tea shops need to have a microphone to work. So we'll do that in just a second, but it did kind of like break my game a little bit. If you notice when I'm doing my playtesting, there's like a piece of the ceiling missing. I couldn't fix it. I tried like several different tricks to try and fix it. It just wasn't having it. So if you guys are able to fix it when you download this build, like amazing props to you. It just was not having it for me. So I'm going to make this like a little tiny stage. I'm going to put the busking station up here so that your Sims can actually like play music and potentially earn money from it. But I'll add a little guitar. That one's from the base game. And then this piano is from the Growing Together pack. I wanted the upright piano because it has a lot more cool swatches on it. I always forget that we only have 3 instruments in The Sims, the piano, the guitar, and the violin. I wish we had something else, maybe like a drum set, trumpets, clarinets, trombones, like maybe even a saxophone, like something that we can actually form a band with. Like even a band-centered pack would be nice. Using the club feature from Get Together, you could have all Sims play instruments at the same time, but they wouldn't be playing the same song. They would just all be playing their own random song based on their skill. So you can technically kind of do it, but it's not really the same. Although I feel like it would be pretty buggy to do as a pack because Sims just don't want to do stuff with each other in general. So I understand why they haven't done something like that yet, but right now I'm just adding some chairs to our little stage area, I guess, and then I'll also add like a foosball table and a chess table up there too so your Sims have more activities. Specifically, the foosball table is a little bit too big to be having on your home lot, so that's why I put it there. I also thought about adding the dartboard from Get Together, but I ended up just not using it because I didn't think I would have enough space for it because Sims tend to gather around there and I didn't want your Sims like on the stairs and getting stuck. And then I'm just going to add a few other random decorations, like this little cart from high school years. I think it's really adorable, and it also kind of goes with our library area. We're going to be moving on to the exterior now. I just added a few more of the vending machines. We have a few from high school years, and then like 3 or 4 from Snowy Escape. The little boba tea statue is going to be so cute out here. I'm also adding a few of these lights from the Romantic Garden Kit, just because it was kind of dark out here, and they kind of are similar to the ones that are in the world. Not really, but they are kind of. I do kind of wish that they would give us the street lamps from the worlds, just because if it's a corner lot like this, I would like to put a lamp from the world there because it makes more sense. I'm also going to add one of the card tables from Get Together up here, just so your Sims have as many activities as I could possibly find for them to do up here. At this point, it's almost like a small community center because there's just so many activities your Sims can do. Over by our vending machines, I thought it would be fun to use these little bamboo planters from Growing Together. I ended up deleting them because they were just a little bit too much for me in the end, but I thought they looked good here. I think I used just about every potted plant that I could find in this game over on the side here. I just wanted there to be lots of greenery around, and honestly, I was kind of avoiding having to do any landscaping by doing it this way with all of the tile surrounding the entire lot. I'm going to add a bench in the front here and then a few patio tables in the back so that your Sim can actually eat outside if they wanted to. And then I'm going to add these matching chairs to them. They're just like a metal and wood chair in like a light sandy color, and I think it looks pretty good out here, especially with the color of the build that we have, because the building itself is kind of like a tan color. We actually got 2 new grills from the For Rent Stuff Pack. One of them came as like a bonus if you bought it before a certain time, but it has like wheels on it, so I'm going to add this little tuk-tuk behind it so your Sims can actually like grill here, and it looks like they just like drove the tuk-tuk with the grill behind it right up onto the sidewalk. But I'm going to go and start just adding a few other random decorations. I'm also going to add a bunch of the For Rent wall decorations on the side of the building, but it took me a while, so I just kind of like didn't show that part of it. So it'll look a little bit different than it does now when I get to the playtesting portion. I wanted the front walkway to be a little bit more cluttered, so I added a few of the clothing racks out front there and a few planters. And then I'm just going to take these snowy escape plants and kind of go along the edge of this build right in front of the windows, just because it looks a little bit better than just leaving it blank, I think. I'm also going to use a few of the jungle adventure plants as well, just because they're really nice looking. But that is just about all the time I have for today's speed build. We'll be getting to the tour in just a few moments here, but if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button because it really helps out. I try to post a few videos a week, so subscribe and hit the bell button to get a notification every time I post a new video. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Dag dag!